Turn off your camera. All right, Samu, you're on. Am I saying it right, Samu?
You can say it however
Whatever it works, huh?
whatever works.
How do you
I
say it?
understand. Well, actually, my name is Samuel.
Well, I know.
So,
I saw that, but you don't use it.
No, and I'm from Chile, so it's actually Samu.
Samu?
Yep.
Okay. So Samu is, yeah, like I said, too many things going on here.
Technology.
Yeah, technology and me. I'm also in there. Would you like to introduce yourself so that we can get started?
Of course. Well, first of all, it's been great, hasn't it?
So far, so good.
Incredible meeting that you set up. So thank you so much for the invitation.
Turn up your volume.
Turn up my volume. What about there? How
Thank
there?
you. Perfect.
That's better?
Perfect.
There you go.
Not better.
Cool. All right. So before starting, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm talking from, which is the Camaraga people of the Eora Nation. And I would like to pay my respects to elders present, past, and emerging. So my name is Samuel. I'm an artist. I live in Australia. I'm originally from Chile. And today I'm going to present a talk called The Creative Mind of an Artist. It's a small study that I'm conducting at the National Art School where I work. I don't know if anyone has heard of the National Art School, but it's a big institution in Australia that is basically fostering the next generation of artists. So should I just go?
Go.
All right, let's do this. So just for you to know, this is an ongoing study. So all the key elements that I'm going to show you are subject to change because this is a timestamp of what we have learned so far. And there's a lot of people coming in. That's pretty good. Pretty good crowd. All right. And I would like to thank the National Art School for allowing me to do this study and the University of Technology of Sydney, which is where I'm doing the Master on Creative Intelligence, which this was part of one of the assignments, and it evolved and gained life of its own for what today I'm going to present. All right. So first of all, this is the National Art School. The National Art School is a 180-year-old institution that have fostered thousands of artists. It has a studio-based education, which is very interesting. Every artist gets their studio throughout the career, and that's very interesting way to approach arts education. It's very unique in their findings. We are in a place called the Darlinghurst Jail. So it's actually a jail, and it was for 70 years house of a lot of prisoners. And we just had the 100-year anniversary of the school in that side last year. So we can say that art has been there longer than the prisoners. And that's quite an achievement because it also talks about how society can change through art and how we can actually make a tangible difference with time. And these people are just exercising. So this is the National Art School today. It's very beautiful, a lot of things going on every day, and it's a very alive environment. Okay, this is a very small summary of the presentation. This was one of the key phrases that I got in the study, which is, I don't know what the role of the artist will be in the future because I don't even know what it is today. Even people that are scholars, people that have been in the arts for many, many, many years are a bit reluctant to define creativity, are a bit reluctant to define art, what it means to be an artist and what it means to be creative. So this was my honest effort to put everything into a cohesive argument. I made the questionnaire very, very simple because I realized at some point that it was too long. I had a questionnaire of 10 questions, which I thought it was very easy to make, but artists are busy. If you haven't met any artists are very, very busy. So you have to make it simple for them. So I decided to go with 3 questions. And what is creativity? What is the role of the artist? And what is important of the artist in the future? So these are the basic elements that I wanted to investigate. One is related to the definition of what we call creativity. Sometimes we are lost between the definition of artist, which is undefinable, and the definition of psychology, which is having original ideas that have value. So I wanted to ask them, like, what do you think is creativity? How will be an useful way to think about the creative mind? The second is based on the vision that artists have of themselves as part of a society. We cannot isolate the artists as the lone wolves. We have to incorporate it on society, but they also have to realize where do they fit, or if they fit at all. So this question was key to understand the relationship, the social relationship of the artist with the world. And the third one is based on the importance on the future. This was to go to the deepest core, the deepest value that art can share. I mean, like, if you have to project yourself into the future, if you have anything else, what is an artist? What remains through the ages with what you do? Like, we can see it, for example, in medicine. Your discoveries, the things that have worked, the things that haven't, they get passed through generations. But what about art? What is the key message that we're trying to convey? So we interview artists, art educators, art galleries in only 5 minutes per questionnaire. The people didn't get their questions beforehand because I realized that also tamed the question, tamed the answers, because people start overthinking it. So I said, like, all right, 5 minutes, just tell me what you think about these 3 topics. And then I condense everything, all the answers, into 3 key points and 3 cohesive arguments, which is my presentation today. So I hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna offer you only 3 things that I learned from this study. The definition of artists in Australia of creativity. How do we apply it? I mean, mainly, how do we fit? How do we actually exercise our creativity within our environment? And why does it matter? Why does it matter? Like, if we artists disappear, does it matter? So we're gonna start with what is creativity. This is one of the answers we got. And there's so much information that I had to pick one. There's so many good stuff that I'm gonna be sharing like later. Creativity is being engaged, inspired, alive, open-minded to anything that is going to lead you into making, thinking, or behaving a new way. This was a key element of the definition of artists of creativity. It's not about what you do, it's about who you are. It's about being. It's about being alive. It's about a state of being. It's not about what I can do. It's what I can be, what I am. So we encounter ourselves sometimes into the definitions between for example, Robert Sturman has a definition between transactional and transformational creativity, right? Transactional being something that you give value and receive something in return, and transformational is just for the sake of it. It's just for the sake of being transform yourself or transform society, transform others, which is the highest and the highest version of the transformational creativity. And in every single answer, in all the questionnaires that I made, the word money was never mentioned. I checked. The word money was never mentioned as a consequence of art or something had to do with art. Nevertheless, if you see the TV, if you see the news, every news about art is related to how much, like how much Basquiat sold this week, how much Picasso sold this week, which is a very interesting. Artists don't do that. Artists talk about being inspired, being transformed, and being engaged with what they do. They also talk creativity is our natural state. So anything that stops us from being creative is unnatural. They defend creativity with a fierce, with a lot of determination. They think we, as a species, are a creative species. If we define ourselves as not creative, we're doing something that goes against the laws of nature. This is beyond definition. This is beyond thinking like I am creative, you're not creative. This is something that is non-negotiable. This is something that you are. And the sooner we realize that, the better for everyone. We have to come back to a natural state, this artist says. And the natural state is a creative state. Creativity is huge in imagination in a material way. So art happens when the idea becomes a reality. Art only happens when what we have in your mind becomes a reality, even if it's just a hunch, because usually we think on art in terms of I want to make a drawing, so I have it in my head and I'm going to put it on the paper. It's not like that. It's about having the idea, the compulsion, the drive to do it, and putting that drive into a material is art, is a creative endeavor. So the takeaways of this answer, let's think about art as being, as connecting, and as making. Being yourself, connecting with the world and with others, and making your ideas a reality. I'm going to try to hurry because I am aware of the time. So second question, how do we apply it? Art is an act of observation and then an act of generosity. Then every answer that we have is that art starts when you start observing. Art starts when you are able to look at things with new eyes, things that you have always seen. It's like the exercise on creativity, like how many uses can we have for this thing? But it's in a opposite direction. It's about how can I go deep into what it is that I am observing. For example, in order to draw, the basic thing is trying to observe light and trying to observe the definitions, trying to observe the contrast. It's all about observation. And once you get it, you can give it to someone else. Thank you for those artist lines that somebody's making. I absolutely love them. Art connects to who we really are and who we'll become. Another tool that is very, very interesting of the educators of the art school is that it's about imagining the future. It's about moving toward the future. The future can only be imagined. And the artists are the ones that imagine it first. Like everything starts as a novel. Everything starts as a painting. The people went to the moon in the imagination decades, hundreds of years before it was actually possible to make. This was dreamed by an artist way before, and we will keep dreaming what it can be. Everything that you see have been touched by an artist. This is a very interesting argument. Every bookshelf, every book, every painting, every technology apart, every glass, everything has been designed by an artist. Everything has been touched by the creative mind of someone. So artists are also the creators of the reality we live in. It's not about only the ones, they're not only the decorators, they're actually the architects of where we live. Key takeaways: Think of art in terms of observing, discovering, and transforming yourself and others. Why is it important? How is it going to be replicated in the future? The creative arts in all forms are fundamental to the way that humans express themselves and their sense of being. We can't really survive on the planet without them. Art is, again, about being alive. It's about experience. What does it mean to be alive? It's about leaving a legacy. It's about getting the stories from the past, transforming them in the present, and projecting them into the future. The creative mind of an artist thinks on these terms. It doesn't think on terms of what they have to do today. They think in a broader spectrum that not only encompass their own lifetime, encompass way beyond those. It's encompassed from the beginning of the conception of art and way into the future. Art is a reflection of social and historical moments that artists are in and serve as a mirrors of values and ideas that society have about themselves. Self-observation of society. When we are able to observe ourselves, we're able to observe others, and we're able to observe the macro of where we are. The importance of art is that has always served as a reflection of what's going on today. Even if you see, let's say Banksy, he is offering you a mirror in which you see what part are you playing on this. He offers a critic, but also offers you a mirror for where you can see yourself. And also it offers a different way of approaching it. It offers the problem and the solution within one artwork. And finally, one of the most important parts of being an artist is that offers glimpse of the future. It offers a glimpse of utopia. It tells you there is hope. There is hope. It can be better. It can be good. We're not trying to solve. We're offering an imaginary hope that we might be able to achieve one day. So the key takeaways on this: why is it important art? Because it allows us to reflect, allows to survive, like the continual line of art, and it allows us a way to observe the future. I come with conclusions, and with this I finish. Reframe what it means to be an artist. If you are listening to this and you consider that you're not an artist, maybe reframe what it means to be an artist, because it's not possible. Maybe you think an artist has to be a genius, and it's not like that. Now, having said that, the fact that you're an artist doesn't mean that you're a great artist. You're just an artist, which is fine. I'm not a great artist either. But you can imagine that future, and you can make it happen. Think of art in connection of time and space. Art is not something you did today. Art is something you are. Art is a way of being that connects every artist to a one line, one cohesive argument on what art is, and not only connect the past, but also the future. And the third one is my invitation, guys. Try it. It's as easy as putting a pencil on the paper and observe it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Samu. If you have comments for Samu, please put them in the chat so that he can read them, so that we can go ahead and move to the next presentation. But are there a couple of quick comments that you'd like to make? Someone? Yes, Pedro.
Yes, thank you very much. Samu, thank you very much. That was very inspiring. I identify a lot with you. One of the things I wanted to say is, I am a philosophy major from when I did my bachelor's degree, and I chose to have a military career. So I've been a practitioner of leadership for over 35 years. And it is very interesting because when we define leadership, we often define leadership as an art to ... But you define art as an act. And that is very interesting in the sense that can I be a good leader if I do not spend time to become an artist or learning what it takes to be an artist? You mentioned artists are very busy as well. I find myself in a place that I want to become a better leader each time. So I read a lot about other leaders and trying to adjust to the times and everything else. You mentioned that an artist is very aware of others. Does that include other artists? Or does that end, or learning other artists, and when you finish your formal studies and become an individual and create?
Oh, thank you for the question. That was great. So, wow, what a career you have.
We need to move, so a quick answer and maybe then communicate in the chat.
All right, cool. So
would that be helpful?
Yeah, sure. So I'm gonna be very quick. Your leadership happens when you lead. That's an act. That's a way of being, which art happens when you make, right? And sorry, I have to be brief, but I'm gonna keep going on the comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing that, Simone. I apologize that it's kind of tight here.